And we're back, everyone, in the crypt tonight. It's Saturday, motherfuckers, but you won't hear this till Monday. So it's Monday, motherfuckers. Hope you had a good weekend. And I'm here with two extraordinarily special guests. This was a very big surprise. I did not expect this. Actually, I did have scheduled Aaron and Mike from Bogwraith were going to be on tonight, and they both canceled on me. So, but I'm glad you guys hit me up. So Jordan is back.
Hey.
And for the first time ever...
Oh, you want me to introduce myself?
I almost said Miss Gabrielle Anderson, but no, it's Miss Gabrielle Jackson now.
Oh, hello.
Gabby is in the house. Woo! First time ever. Is this the first time you've ever done a podcast at all?
Yes, I've never held a microphone like this before.
Oh, this is exciting then. This is very exciting. So where I was originally, whether they were here or not, where I was originally going to start tonight was two things that I forgot to mention in the last episode about the wedding. First thing, I kind of briefly touched on it, but I kind of wanted to go into it further since this is a fucking metal podcast. At one point in the night, unexpectedly to me, Sweating Bullet or Symphony of Destruction came on, and to be honest with you guys, that's like the last thing I legitimately remember of the night.
That was my request.
I knew it. Oh, yeah, it had to be, because that's one of our favorite fucking songs, dude. Like,
and my mom's, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Jesus. But,
that is one of the better photos.
I started...
her headbanging?
Of your mom, me, and BJ as the only people left on the dance floor just headbanging to Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth.
Dude... When that song came on, I looked at you, and there was nobody else in the room. Like, as far in my head, you and I were the only ones in that room, and that we were in the car, and that song was playing. You know what I mean? That's what it was happening in my head. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking, it was such a good moment. I was not expecting it. How'd you feel about that, Gabby?
There are a lot of pictures from it. I did not participate.
You don't like that song?
I didn't know that song, no.
Oh,
you
okay.
were out there for a moment.
Was I?
For a moment before you got off
for
the
a
stage.
moment. Yeah.
Only for a moment. Yeah, that it was a crazy night. I definitely got annihilated. Hopefully, I didn't do anything too crazy.
That's kind of what I've been going through in my head over the past week. Was there anything that I did?
Dude.
Nothing that I remember, so I think we're okay.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I had to put so many things back together from that night, dude. I couldn't find a joint. I thought I'd lost a joint somewhere, but it turns out I hadn't. Like, there were so many fucking... Oh, my God. There were so many fucking things that, like...
On the
I had
plus
to piece
side,
back together the next morning. I remember... luckily, I was texting Preston while I was super drunk, so I did have some sort of a timeline to reference.
On the plus side, Gabby's uncle consumed 18 Miller Lights, so we were not the most intoxicated in the room.
I have no fathomable idea how many rum and cokes I had.
You had 9. I saw the bill.
We have
Really?
Yeah.
9?
9.
Yeah.
Oh, and we had the flasks, though. I was like, 9 wouldn't do
And the
that.
shots.
Yeah, tequila
Wait,
shots.
shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did we have tequila shots?
In the middle of the night.
And towards the end, there was another round.
What? Okay, that's what did it then. That's what did it. I have no recollection of that at all.
Oh,
there are pictures of me holding double fisting drinks. Don't remember that. When did I have 2 drinks in my head at the same time?
Isn't that when we were chugging to that, what's the song?
Thunderstruck?
Yeah.
You played Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, shit. Yeah, it might have been. And then, so that was crazy. That was awesome. But then the other thing that I haven't, you would really think that the clothes that we had on, like, you'd think that clothes like that would be made to be comfortable. Like, why aren't suits comfortable?
You have a choice between looking nice or being comfortable.
Well, really, it was just the shoes. I should have taken your advice.
Oh, God, yeah.
Dude, I was missing flesh on my foot when I woke up the next day.
It cuts right into it.
Dude, I was like, what the
brand-new
fuck?
Leather dress shoes.
Yeah.
They're hard.
Like, sharp, apparently.
Yep.
Literally cut through my skin. I was like, I'm glad I was drunk and didn't feel that till now.
I was wearing 2 pairs of socks the whole night.
That was smart.
I should have done that because I just had one tiny little stupid.
I've had a lot of experience in foot pain from shoes. I know how to do it.
It's just crazy to me that, like, they're so uncomfortable. That's wild. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to mention those things about the wedding, especially since you guys are here. It's extra fun. So let's move into the matter at hand. We all saw the Joker, and I mean, for me personally, like, look, I love all fucking superhero movies, all this stuff. I'm in the bag for all of it. When they announced a Joker standalone movie, I was immediately like, meh, kind of. Like, I wasn't immediately excited because part of what makes the Joker such a great character to me is that he does not have an origin story. He just exists. He is like a force of nature.
And once we get talking on this more, I want to touch on that point.
All right. So the idea of giving him a backstory in movies already kind of put me off a little bit. But then, trailers coming out, everybody's super excited. I didn't think that it would get the kind of buzz that it's getting, and I thought there was no way. But off the bat, going in today, it's a tall order. You're asking a tall order. You're asking me to buy a tall order here because this is a 2-hour and 15-minute long movie where the main character, the character we're all there to see, that performance is going to be judged against, in my opinion, one of, if not the greatest on-screen performance in film history, Heath Ledger. Like, this will be judged against that. Okay? You know what I mean? Obviously, it has to be.
Hands down.
So, and anytime you're judging anything against that, you're already starting off losing, pretty much. Because it's so yet to be topped. And then, so you get all that, and then on top of all these things, you want me to watch a 2-hour and 15-minute long Joker movie with no Batman.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
There was a little Batman.
Quite literally.
Yes.
Quite literally.
A little Batman.
But, that is a tall order, I think. All of those, there's a lot of factors working against you off the bat. So for me going in, this was not Godzilla to me. This was not Avengers.
No.
I was excited because Martin Scorsese was involved, and it is one of my favorite Joker's one of my favorite characters. So I'm excited.
Artistically, it was set up to be a good movie.
If we're going to talk about the feel and the artistic direction of this movie, have you guys seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet?
No.
I
Okay.
really do want to see that.
This movie, to me, in the way it felt, the physical feeling I had watching this movie was almost identical to that movie.
Depression.
Just like not more melancholy,
Tense
but
to
like
the point that you're grinding your teeth and nauseous.
yeah, like a tense melancholy, but really, really slow and really drawn out until the last 10 minutes. Pretty much. The last 10 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are unfucking believably insane. It's insane. But, like with Joker, immediately off the bat, from the music to the very first scene, the way things are, this is a Scorsese feeling film. This is a Tarantino feeling film. What those filmmakers are so good at is putting you in that place at that time and immersing you in that world. And this movie does a really good job at that. Like, you feel like you are in Gotham City in the, 70s, 60s, something along those lines.
Mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s? Okay, yeah,
Based
sure.
on the vehicles on screen.
Okay.
If you pay attention to the ambulance that's filmed multiple times, that ambulance was not around until the mid-'80s.
Oh, okay. Okay, legit.
It's a Ford vehicle.
Okay, so yeah, that's where I want to start. I got a lot more, obviously, but that's where I want to start. So you guys start something off. How'd you feel about just like the beginning? What's going on?
One of the darkest movies that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
The entire movie, from start to finish, takes you into the scenes of the Joker, of Arthur, living in Gotham City, and breaks you down slowly with the character. And you feel worse and worse throughout watching the movie. Not for him, but just in general. I mean, I didn't feel bad for him at all.
I did. Like the whole time I was sad for this man
Meh.
who has a terrible life.
And that is part of that's part of the problem, I think, of giving him a backstory. I don't want to feel sympathy for the Joker.
That's exactly what I said to Jordan. Like, this man's a psychopath. I
Yeah.
don't want to feel bad for him.
No, yeah.
So, and there's the point that I want to touch on. The whole movie unravels. It's very dark, and we see a backstory to the Joker. And even within the movie, they allude to the fact that the things that are happening on screen may or may not have actually been happening. This is a story of a man with mental illness who is quite literally delusional about everything that's going on around him. And in the movie states that he wasn't even sure if he existed himself, if he was real. How much of that story that we watched, how much of that backstory was actually him, or from the Heath Ledger Joker, how much of it is just his random collection of memories that was pieced together? That's just his truth at this moment. The movie, all in all, all of it could be real, none of it could be real.
Let's hold on real quick, right before we go any further. Hey, everyone listening to this, spoilers. I'm holding nothing back, okay? This is a free and open conversation. If you listen to this, don't watch. If you haven't seen The Joker yet, don't listen to this. So, but yeah, I feel like everything you just said, everything you just said are things that I drew just from the trailers. I knew going into this movie, this could be one of those movies where everything's fake. And the first big major reveal of that, obviously, is his fake-ass girlfriend, which I knew immediately. I was like, nope. No, that did not happen. He did not go up to her and start kissing her. Nope. She did not catch him stalking her and then spin that into a date. Oh my God. Like that, I was like, that is the most delusional thing I've ever seen. That is what the delusion would be.
I saw you following me.
Yeah.
You want to go grab a drink?
You know, maybe I just felt so bad for this man that I wanted to convince myself it was real because I was shocked.
Nope.
I was like, okay, maybe they are in love. He needs some happiness in his life. I'm sad for him.
No.
Give him something.
He gets nothing.
He put his fingers in a young child's mouth.
Oh my God.
Gross.
Are we
So
I'm so mad about that. Fucking young Batman was the worst actor of the whole
he was
movie.
He just stood there.
He just stood there. They're choking I assumed it was Alfred. I didn't know. But he doesn't do anything.
Nope.
The Joker comes in, or no, the other clown comes and kills his parents. He just fucking stands there. This was what pissed me off the whole time.
No one
reacted like normal human beings, which I guess maybe to Jordan's point, it's all fake. But like,
there should have been there would have been it would have been a great opportunity for Bruce to have done something to get Alfred away and have Bruce and Joker stare eye to eye for a minute, like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah, but they
setting up the future.
They did nothing with him.
No,
nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
No.
He was worse than Will in Stranger Things.
Spoiler alerts for Stranger Things. Will is useless.
I do like how they okay, so I'm 99% sure there is proof of this on a previous podcast when one of the trailers came out. But something I said as a way to save this movie from itself, in a sense of you can still may have this movie and still he doesn't have an origin story. How do you do that? He's adopted because he was abandoned. And that's exactly what they fucking did in the movie. So I was super excited about that because now we still don't know where he came from. He is still a mystery. We have a part of his childhood, but we don't know who his parents really were. We still don't know. We still don't know where he's from.
Yeah, but
Nothing.
based on the pictures of him at that age, he was young when he was adopted.
Yeah.
Very, very young.
An abandoned baby, basically.
How much of an origin are you looking for? Like,
he's
a human who was born.
He still comes from
Gotham.
apparently nowhere. He still does not come from somewhere.
And even the history that we know of him, how much of that is truly real?
Yeah, like, see, that's, man.
That's just annoying to me, honestly. Oh, it's all fake. So now in 10 years, probably 3 years, we can make another Joker movie.
Well,
Like,
and that's what we argued after we left the movie. This is one film by a different director in a different timeline in a different collection of the DC universe that doesn't necessarily have to match up with the rest of the movies or features.
Oh yeah, this is standalone completely. It's connected to nothing else.
I feel like I should put a disclaimer in here. I am not a comic book fan. So, like...
And apparently not a fan of the Joker.
Apparently not a fan of any movie DC has made, except for Wonder Woman, honestly.
Wonder Woman was good.
Wonder Woman
was the only good one.
What about Aquaman?
Didn't hold my attention.
Aquaman was okay.
It was boring.
It was fine.
It was fine. I would never watch it again. Or Justice League. Batman vs. Superman should be burned. Sorry.
There are things I like about that movie, but mostly just because Gotham was filmed in Detroit,
right.
And there was a scene filmed in East Lansing, so that's cool.
I mean, that is cool.
That is cool.
Doesn't make the movie good.
No, but it makes it a little better.
I mean...
To me.
Oh, also, going back to Joker, what was with all the dancing?
Oh,
why was there so much dancing?
Right. That's what bothered me. Oh, my God.
Has that been like an established fact of the Joker that he just dances like a
He's not a big dancer.
freak?
He's not a big dancer. Okay, that was something I did not particularly care for. And then at first, I hated how they gave him a medical condition for his laughing. His laughing is a medical condition.
But then you found out that was because of his brain injury.
Well, and also, it's because I was talking to Josh about it, and he pointed out, he's like, no, at one point in the movie, Joker basically realizes that he was told all his life that's part of his mental illness, but it's not. And when he realized that and stopped taking his meds, he stopped doing it as much.
Yeah.
Oh, I just assumed, like, towards the end when they were like, you were tied to a radiator and all this shit, and he had a severe brain injury. It was like something from that.
So
that may have impacted his mental illness, but
yeah.
The laughter was something that his mom told him.
Right. So yeah, Arthur is like living with his mom, and his mom is convinced that Thomas Wayne, who is her former employer, she used to work for the Waynes, that he's gonna help them. She keeps writing him letters, and then finally Joker like reads one of the letters, and it's saying that Arthur is Thomas Wayne's son.
You need to help me and your son.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
So right there, we're led to believe that Arthur is Bruce Wayne. The Joker is Bruce's brother, basically, half brother. That's what we're thinking at that point. When that happened, I was mad. I was like, this is better not be it. So then that's when he goes to the Wayne Manor and puts his fingers in Bruce's mouth and tries to choke out Alfred. And then he confronts Thomas Wayne at like some show in the bathroom. And Wayne breaks it down to where, no, your mom's delusional. We had her committed and you were adopted. And then so Arthur goes to Arkham to get the documents of proof of what happened, and that all turned out to be true. And that he was adopted, an abandoned baby who was adopted by this lady, his mom. And then at one point, apparently, she had gotten married, and Arthur's stepdad abused the fuck out of him, and the mom let it happen.
I think
so she
they
was
abused
committed.
the mom too, though.
But we still don't know who that stepdad was either, do we?
I don't think so.
No. So, yeah, that's the unraveling of this Joker origin story, basically. And he's just constantly going through ups and downs, dealing with all of this stuff and life. Fuck, I forgot where I was kind of going with that. But yeah, so. Oh yeah, that's kind of so they kind of like have it covered in the sense of he is abandoned, so he's still from nowhere.
He's insane, so everything that you see, some of it can be taken with a grain of salt.
Right. And that was the other thing too. The way in the beginning part of the movie, it was super disassociative. Like the way the scenes jumped it didn't make sense. It's like 1 second we're here, now we're here. How does that? What? Like it seemed like it was almost time jumping without telling us at some points.
Yeah.
To make us feel disassociated, and so yeah, while that's happening, and then we also get a 1 second glimpse of someone mentions that he was admitted at one point, and then it shows him like banging his head against the fucking wall, and that's it. Never talks about it again until we see him back in the asylum at the end of the movie. Here's the thing about that scene at the end. His hair wasn't green. You're going to tell me the asylum's going to re-dye his hair brown? So that scene feels to me like it was the past, and that none of this movie happened. And that he was never out of the asylum. He was in the asylum the whole time.
So they're like, hey, if this movie bombs, 6 months, we can make a new one because there's no real story.
No.
But you see what I mean? You're not sure. You could see how it could be interpreted that way. So this movie is just all interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie is art. It's an artistic piece, and that's all that it is. To showcase the effects of mental illness and society's treatment of those who have mental illnesses. And so showcasing an extreme example of where that could go by using the Joker as a metaphorical example of that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There were some nice, I felt like, I don't know if they were intentional or not, but I felt like there were some nods to the Heath Ledger Nolan Joker in the sense of like, in some of his like the body movements, like the way he moved a few times kind of felt like that. And a lot of the big wide shots of Gotham felt like those could be in that movie too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I so basically here we got Jordan. Gabby didn't like it.
Nope.
Gabby didn't like it.
Okay, honestly, in the theater, people clapped at the end of the movie, and I was like, why are they clapping?
That surprised, when you told me that earlier, it surprised me, because I definitely did not feel any urge to clap.
No. Like, it was fine.
We were opening day on the movie,
yeah.
So people were probably clapping because there was no mass shooting.
Jesus.
Okay, I was anxious the whole time. There was a security guard at the door of the movie theater.
I don't understand why there was so much...
It happened during the Dark Knight, and there's been threats of it happening on the Joker movie.
Okay,
so
but a film with a Joker has been released since then, and that film was called fucking Suicide Squad. And nobody batted an eye. Like, there was nothing about that. But this one's getting something. I don't understand that.
More because they go into Joker's mental illness in this one, and a lot of shooters are mentally ill. Whereas Suicide Squad, it was just kind of like, oh, fucking Jared Leto.
They're worried about someone that can connect and relate to the feelings of that Joker that's portrayed in this movie.
I feel like no one sees me, how he felt when that woman ignored him and then just killed her and her kid for no reason.
I can see people making that argument after they see the movie. But I feel like that was coming from people who hadn't seen the movie yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So I don't get it.
It's an afterthought.
And because the illustration of mental illness, I was not aware that it was gonna be such a focal point until I was watching the movie. You know what I mean?
It's probably more of an idea of it happened during the Dark Knight where they had the shooting at the opening of that movie, and then the creators of this movie... It was a bank robbery. Realized how insanely dark and all the like different entities that it kind of deals with in terms of mental illness, and they're like, holy shit, this is the kind of movie that might make somebody actually act out on this.
I don't know. I almost think it's more likely it was a marketing ploy.
I don't know, but it made me anxious. So if it was a marketing ploy, it was a bad one, because I feel like it could have distracted me from enjoying the movie more, maybe. Yeah. Thinking about dying while I'm watching it.
That's not really the best ploy to get people to go out and see your movie.
But it's a good way to get people talking about it.
Yeah. But box office
I don't-
tickets are going to go
that
down.
seems- yeah, that's
it's
negative
breaking records
attention.
right now. It's
Yeah.
breaking records, and it already has all that attention. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But I don't understand it because I thought for sure there was going to be this kind of noise about a movie called fucking Suicide Squad. Like, I thought for sure people were going to get mad about that title, and no one did. I was just surprised. I don't care. I like it all, but...
Semi off topic. Did you see the trailer for the new Harley Quinn movie?
Birds of Prey?
Yeah, didn't that look bad?
I don't know. It didn't look great, but I'll watch it.
I love some good girl power, but it looks
awful.
just not well done.
I like her as Harley Quinn a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll
agreed.
watch it for that.
I'd watch any movie with her as Harley Quinn in it that isn't directly about her.
Fair enough.
More Will Smith.
Yeah, it has to have more Will Smith.
Deadshot?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be in the next one. Pretty sure
No,
he's not.
he's too busy
actually.
as Genie now.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's doing some other random
Oh.
shit-looking movie.
Yeah, where
Gemini
he's like
Man.
an old man
Yeah,
and his
yeah,
young
Gemini
man
Man.
fights him.
But they look the same.
Because they're the same person or
Well,
something.
no,
isn't
it's
it?
he's a tool used by the government to go
No.
assassinate people
Well,
or something.
No, he's got the Paul Rudd gene. He doesn't age. So old Will Smith looks the same as young Will Smith.
Is that what it is?
There's a gigantic cardboard poster of it at NCG earlier, and I was standing there looking at it, and I'm like one has gray hair and the other one doesn't. That's he looks the same.
No, he's a genetic experiment made by the government to literally be used as a tool.
No, I'm
to
talking
go
about
kill
in real
people.
life.
Oh, Will Smith?
Yeah.
Well,
in
yeah.
real life, the man just doesn't age. He's like Paul Rudd. He just doesn't look. He never looks older.
Well, yeah.
So if you're gonna have a movie where he's fighting the thing is young Will Smith versus old Will Smith, maybe make old Will Smith look a little older or something.
Like anything.
Make it look a little more dramatic than just a little gray hair. I don't know anything about the movie.
It looks like
I want Will Smith to be in Guardians of the Galaxy.
It looks like an awful movie that's going to do super well because Will Smith is in it.
Everything he touches turns to gold. It's because he's amazing. Even if it's bad, he was still good in it. You know what I mean?
That's kind of the feeling that I left the Joker with. We need more movies with Will Smith in them.
Jesus. That's funny. All right. What else? What else about the Joker, though?
I don't know. That's the other thing. So I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah. So she didn't like it. How did you feel about it?
I did enjoy the movie, but overall, it wasn't that great. And what I expected and what I wanted out of it was not there. And a lot of that has to do with the disconnect between this Joaquin Phoenix Joker compared to the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh, it is Joaquin Phoenix, wasn't it? That is his name.
Yeah,
I forgot that was his name.
Yeah. It's not the Joker that all of us, that the entire U.S. population that's been waiting for a new Joker movie to come out wanted.
Well, it's not. Neither was Jared Leto. You know what I mean?
No.
That's part of what I mean.
No.
Is when you enter in the ring on this one, you're going up against the heavyweight title of Infinity.
On the other hand, the Jared Leto Joker, I like that character more.
You like that version of the Joker more than this version of the Joker? Is that what you're saying?
Have they done his Joker movie yet? That's still up and coming.
No, it's not going to happen anymore.
They're not going to make one now that they
scrapped it.
made this one.
Because they made this one.
Not because they made this one. It was because something had. I think Suicide Squad didn't do nearly as well as they wanted it to, and so they just scrapped his standalone Joker. But there is apparently a shit ton of shot scenes of Joker that weren't used in the original in the movie that we never got to see. A lot.
That character of the Joker in the Suicide Squad, I like more than this one.
It worked. Yeah, it works a little better. And I liked. Here's the thing: is that in this movie, he didn't he was when he clearly got to the point. Okay, another thing I didn't like is how someone called him a Joker, so that's where he gets the name from.
De Niro. Put some respect on his name.
That's the other thing I wanted to see. wanted to talk about Robert De Niro.
Love him.
Badass.
As that character.
Him and I believe Scorsese did a movie in the early 80s called something comedian. The something comedian or something I can't remember the name of it, but it was about him. He was that was basically his character. But like the Joker in that movie share a lot of similarities apparently, because in that movie De Niro was essentially the broken guy trying to be a stand-up comedian, and then gets to a point where he like takes a night show guy hostage to give him the spot. So not exactly like this movie, but there are similarities.
There are some similarities, and it's pulling from that to put him in the talk show host position.
Yeah.
I get that. I didn't like the use of his character. I didn't like the casting for the character. I love Robert De Niro, but it's just
that's why he was cast for that part, is because they did that movie back in the 80s.
Yeah, and it pulled me away from it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like that character I didn't like him as that character in that capacity in this movie.
Also, when Joker shot De Niro and those two people sitting on the couch just stayed on the couch,
right.
Everyone else is running away and they're just holding each other on the couch. Everyone's reactions just weren't normal human being reactions.
Yeah.
My argument to that is that if somebody gets shot right next to you, it's
fight or flight.
And a lot of it just turns into, oh shit, panic mode, and you don't really know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see either. I did notice that, though. Like, that stuck out to me one time when the camera cut back to that shot. I was like, why are they still on that couch?
What about the midget that just stood there?
Well,
oh shit.
What the fuck was he gonna do?
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, hey,
shit.
buddy, help me open the door.
Fuck.
I will say, though.
Why did you do that? Oh, no. Just standing there, just continuing to scream weird, like, sentences of, oh, shit, oh, fuck, why did you do that? Oh, no. Oh, shit, oh, fuck.
In those moments where Joker actually killed people, though, if you go back and watch like Mask of the Phantasm or like some of the old animated series, when it got dark and he'd actually kill people, it was very similar. He would just it'd be really fast. He'd just cap him and just walk away like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like just very much like how he kind of did it in this movie. Like just instant and then it's turned off.
They pulled a lot from old school Joker references.
Like
to
what?
Make this movie. Well, I mean, it's similar in a lot of aspects to The Killing Joke.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For what you were just talking about in terms of how he actually behaves, killing people and walking
it's
away.
It's sporadic and
impulsive. It seemed to draw from a lot of different aspects, trying to culminate into how they felt the actual Joker came to be Joker.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, that scene where he killed those two other clowns. Or that one other clown with the midget there. And then he's got to unlock the latch. That was actually I genuinely felt some my gut was, because that was a pretty brutal scene. I was a little whoa. And then that happened and it made me laugh a little bit. I was like, that's the first joke in the actual joke in this whole movie. It was the first one.
There were parts when other people were laughing and I was just kind of why are you laughing right now?
Yeah.
I can't remember anything specific,
because
but
it's all a fucking comedy.
Yeah.
One thing that I felt like there was some, and maybe they couldn't for, rights reasons or whatever, but I felt like there was some low-hanging fruit that they didn't pick, which bummed me out. Those two cops that were pursuing Arthur for most of the movie, why wasn't one of them Lieutenant Gordon? You know what I mean? A young James Gordon?
Because they're dead.
No, they're not. They're both fine.
Oh, yeah, just seriously.
They got beat up.
Oh.
But they got beat up because the one that would be a young James Gordon accidentally shot somebody, and you can't have a young James Gordon do that. So, yeah.
Accidentally shot someone.
I mean, it was. Someone was trying to grab the gun, and it went off. We saw it. But, yeah. So that I thought was kind of a bummer. Why? I did like how finally, like, this is one of the first times I've ever really put Arkham on screen. In that much.
How finely detailed that cityscape was. How it just brought you in. Like, you're not in anywhere that is familiar with it.
Well, no, in Arkham, the asylum. Arkham Asylum, not Gotham.
Well, Gotham in general.
Yeah.
I liked how detailed that was.
Yeah.
Arkham.
I just liked how we got to go there.
Asylum.
Yeah, because like in a lot of these movies, Arkham is such a cool place to go in the comics and like in the video games and stuff. But in a lot of these movies, they don't.
After he steals the reports of his mom's incarceration there.
But while he was walking in, or like in the elevator with that with the one guy screaming, why couldn't something there? There could have been a character, or at the very end where he was sitting there talking to the psychologist that he apparently murdered when he walked out of the room because he was leaving footprints of blood.
Yeah, that was weird.
I didn't understand that at all.
I didn't.
But that could have been. He didn't have to kill her, and she could have been Harley Quinn.
She never listened to him, though.
Was that the same lady?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was
that was a different lady.
That was a different lady?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not going to say what I want to say.
But I think that was a different lady. Yeah, they the first one. See, that first one, the first lady, his first, like, what would you call it? Social worker?
Yeah.
So a social worker, and she's the one that made mention of him being in the asylum before. And those scenes specifically felt the most like disassociative to me. It kept jumping into those where it made no sense at all. I was like, why are we back here right now? Like, this doesn't... It felt like a weird time jump almost, or something. Like it wasn't really happening or something. Or maybe that was the only thing that was really happening. I don't know.
I see what you're getting.
It's like, I love it when it's super like interpretational or whatever, but at the same time, I also love just a good fucking story. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, tell me
the story. Tell me what's happening.
Story.
Yeah.
Don't just like give me a whole bunch of stuff and then let me extrapolate whatever I want from it.
Right. Yeah. Like I would kind of prefer, especially in the sense of if you're gonna fart, you should put the mic closer to your ass. No, actually, I don't think we can do that. They do that on a different podcast. I don't want to steal anybody's ideas. But shout out to your mom's house podcast. The fucking...
What'd you say about my mom?
That's the name of the podcast with Thomas Segura and Christina Pazinski. You know Thomas Segura?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the Netflix.
And Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah.
That episode I showed you. Yeah. So yeah, I liked things I liked about it. I liked the abandonment thing. I like that he still technically has mystery in the origin story, even though they were able to tell this one. I ended up liking his final look more than I did in the trailers. Like, I kind of ended up wishing he had spent more time in that final costume.
In the actual purple Joker suit.
It was like orange.
It was like a burgundy suit.
His was purple. Heath's. But,
we were watching Dark Knight before we came over here.
Oh, nice.
Burgundy?
Yeah, it was like a burgundy. Like a rusty red.
Yeah. It was like a burgundy with like a yellowish burnt orange, like a Dwight Schrute vest.
That's purple to me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sure. It
was purple.
I saw it coming. I didn't really have a problem with this slight reimagining of how Bruce Wayne's parents get killed, but
you would think you'd have more of an issue with the Joker
in the future.
Yeah.
Then yeah, and you know it kind of makes sense within the bounds of the specific story because Thomas Wayne was like a focal point. You know what I mean? And like his political agenda and the political climate in Gotham at the time were main parts of this. You can check on him if you want. You don't have to say here. You can do whatever you want. But yeah. So with all that, it makes sense for them to have shown that and given it that slightly different spin. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I also let's see. I did like how he went to Wayne Manor and interacted with the young Bruce Wayne and Alfred. I did like that happened.
And again,
and he had a good reason to go there.
Another thing leading to why wouldn't Batman's only goal in life be to stop the Joker? Because then that envelops the entire backstory of Batman.
Yeah.
More with the Joker. It wasn't based on the movie. It wasn't not common knowledge that he went on live TV, announced what he had done, the movement that he had started that resulted in the Wayne parents' death.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's public knowledge. He would have grown up knowing his entire life. Oh, hey, my parents died only because of that man's actions.
Right. Right, exactly. Yeah, it really would have, you feel like at least it would have fucking really added to that. Yeah. That's a good point. But that kind of, that scene at the end with him in Arkham and he doesn't have green hair really makes me think that was in the past.
How long does that dye stay in his hair? He was wearing makeup the whole time that came off and went on. He just dyed his hair. It's not unlike a lot of the other like comic book Joker backstories. He didn't die. He didn't get plunged into a vat of chemicals that altered his appearance. This is all something that he puts on and changes about himself and keeps going. He has to put makeup on in order to be the Joker.
Yeah, but the scene right before him in Arkham is him like standing on top of the car and all the other clowns are like cheering him on, and it's like, why did it just go like that, Into the mental hospital.
Yeah, that's like the epitome of his fantasy. Being loved and revered by everyone.
So the entire time he's just sitting in the...
Yeah.
With the social worker, just imagining. Thought of a really funny joke.
Maybe not the entire time, because maybe the one scene of him banging his head against the window is what he was really doing while he was imagining sitting in that room with that social worker.
But it seemed at the end he was trying to escape too, because it was him and some other guy like chasing each other through the doors.
Yeah.
Well, and the last thing that he says to her is, I just thought of a really funny joke. You wouldn't understand, and then he murders her.
Yeah,
leads to that's him. The really funny joke that he just thought of was the entire movie that we just watched.
Could have been.
It seemed like a lot more artsy than any other DC movie. And
well, it's because technically it's not a,
Oh, it's not technically DC?
It obviously they own the rights to the character, but this is, like, Martin Scorsese produced it, Todd Phillips directed. These aren't people that have ever had to do with stuff like this before.
As a whole, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I would never watch it again. Even if I was slipping through the channels and it was on TV, I don't think I'd watch it.
Fair enough. I almost feel like I need to see it again just to understand it. Like, I didn't...
Trying to piece together some of the different things that you think about it.
Like, I liked it, but it never, like... I felt like it was going to hit, like, something really cool was going to happen, and then it never really did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the twist in the middle with the fake girlfriend was cool, but...
Nah. I mean, like, that was something that everyone kind of questioned it. By the point that we had gotten to that, we already saw him in delusional states where he thought some other conversation was going on and then he snapped back to reality.
Yeah.
So he was already proven to be delusional by that point in time.
Yeah.
And then you're just left sitting there like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but maybe. Maybe he actually has that girlfriend.
Yeah. Man. It was wild. It was really wild. It was very different than, a lot more in your head than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more of a straightforward story. But yeah, I honestly think maybe it all was a fake.
I think the reason that I didn't enjoy the movie quite as much as I wanted to, I was looking for a story. It's a Friday night. I just had a full week of work. I don't want to be in some kind of a mind game with my movie.
Right.
I want you to tell me a story. I want to enjoy. Oh, what's going on? Oh, this is going on. Oh, that's how it's resolved. I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. It was quite trippy. I don't know, though. I mean, like I said, from the beginning, I was on the fence about this movie off the rip. But I think I liked aspects of it more than I thought I would, and then I didn't like parts of it. I just didn't like parts of it. You know what I mean? Like the dancing and the, like how, like, another thing I didn't like is how when he became the fully realized Joker, finally, he didn't change his voice at all. He just kept his normal same voice until there was that 1 second, that one where the best shot in the movie almost, and they cut it early, was when he grabbed the camera and started talking into it. Mm-hmm. Like that, a voice started to come out right there, but then they cut it off and then you don't hear it again.
Nope.
It's like, come on. I love Joker voices. Mark Hamill. That's the Joker I grew up with. Oh, Holly. You know what I mean? Like that kind of fucking... I love that.
A Mark Hamill Joker movie?
Yeah,
too old
hard yes.
Too old.
There are rumors that he's going to play it in the next big crossover in the CW verse. Because the voice of Batman in the animated series is a guy named Kevin Conroy, and he is going to play Bruce Wayne, live-action Bruce Wayne, for the first time in that. So people are hoping that they bring in Mark Hamill. I'm hoping. There's a great YouTube clip of Mark Hamill in his Joker voice from the animated series reading the Heath Ledger "Why So Serious" line. Like that whole monologue.
I think I've seen that.
Oh, it's fucking hair-raising.
I also think that in some Joker, like, face paint and Joker makeup and with, like, longer dyed green hair,
he could look like an old Joker.
He could pull it off.
And in the CW universe, they fuck around with time travel all the goddamn time. So yeah, an old Joker could get sent back, to somebody, or they could go to some world with an old Joker on it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah. Here, Gabby, I read this to Jordan the other day, but I want to read this to you. I wanted to do this on the podcast because I love it so much, and I think you might get a kick out of it. So, very full disclosure, I want to be very clear about my sources on this. I'll tell you what I Google searched to find this after, but it's from tickled.com, TICKLD.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the title of the article is "This Guy Just Changed the Way We See Batman, Minds Blown" by Bobby Popovic. And this was posted January 19th, 2018. And he talks about, and he's posting something from a Reddit user named Rapaccini, Rappaccini. Apparently that is the author of what I'm about to read.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to be very clear. This is not mine. I'm getting this from the internet. Here we go. All right. It's a couple years from now. The chips are on the line, and the multiverse is at stake again. Only this time, it all comes down to Batman. He defeats the ultimate evil of the DC universe, only to find himself launched through time into a strangely familiar city. Scrambling to find some clothes after his costume got destroyed by Z-Rays in the epic final battle, he nads some threads off low-hanging clotheslines. He leaves his bat wallet full of cash on a windowsill, because he's not a bad guy after all. Just then, because he's paying for the clothes that he's taking. I'm an idiot, sorry. Just then, he sees a family of 3 emerge from an alley nearby. With a strange sense of deja vu, Bruce recognizes his mother, his father, and his childhood self. This is the night Bruce's parents were murdered. Bruce whirls around looking for the culprit, Joe Chill. But the only people there are himself and the Waynes. They barely glance at the ragged figure as they start to walk past. With a spike of cold horror, Bruce realizes that in its final death throes, the ultimate evil he had to face in the future sent him backwards through time for a very specific reason. Color draining from Bruce's face, he reaches his hand into the borrowed coat's pocket to find a dense metallic lump. Drawing it out of his pocket, he comes face to face with a snub-nosed revolver. A flash of terrible insight comes to Bruce, along with an iron certainty. Without Batman, the universe would not survive the ultimate evil. And without this night, there is no Batman. This is his only chance. He must choose break his one rule, never to kill, or be complicit in the assured annihilation of the entire universe. There is no real choice. So with tears streaming down his face, he remembers with trained photographic memory the hollow words the mugger spat at the elderly Waynes. They turn, startled, as if his hands had minds of their own. He feels the pressure on his fingers, and he slowly and inexorably pulls the trigger. Bruce Wayne has killed his parents in order to save everything else. In a blind haze, Bruce the Elder stumbles from the alley as Bruce the Younger wails into the night. Nearing the Narrows Bridge, Bruce's mind begins to crumble under the weight of what he has just done to himself. Unable to bear the maddening maelstrom of conflicting grief and certainty, he climbs to the highest point of the bridge, looks out over a long-suffering city, and jumps without looking into the icy depths hundreds of feet below. Later that night, dock workers pull a body from the water. No ID, no wallet, nothing in the pockets but a gun and lint. Broken, deathly, pale, but alive, as a foreman hangs up a call to the cops, he almost swears he hears something coming from the body. It almost sounds like laughter. It's the laughter of a man who knows the funniest joke in the world, but just can't quite remember the punchline.
That was good. It
Right?
gave me some chills. That was good.
If you don't have goosebumps right now, Bruce Wayne is the Joker. That's my favorite Joker origin story ever. Like, holy shit.
I'd watch that movie.
I would watch that.
Watch the
They
fuck
should
out
give
of
him
that
a
movie.
movie deal.
Should
Damn.
watch the fuck out of that movie. Oh my god. First time I read that, I think I just started screaming afterwards. Like,
Can you imagine a Heath Ledger as an old Bruce Wayne transformed into the Joker that he was to be?
Can you imagine a Heath Ledger Joker origin story? Joaquin Phoenix is good, don't get me wrong, but
Not
can
as
you
good.
it
imagine?
was not as good as,
No.
because, yeah, nothing. I don't think we'll ever see something that compares to that. At least in this role. In the
No.
role of the Joker,
No.
I don't think we'll ever see anything as good as what Heath Ledger did.
And Christian Bale. Miss him.
I
So cute.
No.
could see someone doing a better Batman, though.
Yeah.
Not Ben
easily.
Affleck. Ooh.
I mean, maybe not. I didn't mind Ben Affleck as Batman.
He quit though, right?
Yeah, he's not. Because I always liked the animated series. And in the animated series, Bruce Wayne's got a real fucking square head.
Oh yeah.
And
That
so
is
does-
Ben Affleck.
So does Ben Affleck. Christian Bale has this weird little, like, oval head.
Beautiful.
Okay. You ever seen American Psycho?
Oh my god, that's when he looks his best.
Okay. All right. Oh, boy.
Okay, not as like a serial killer, but like as his face.
I love it when he's covered in blood. He looks fantastic. Hell yeah. All right. Well, shit. You guys want to wrap this one up?
I
Any final thoughts on the Joker? What would your final rating be? Out of 5.
2.5. It was
2.5
fine.
out of 5. Okay. Jordan?
3.
3?
Definitely 3.
I think I'm sitting there with you. I think I'm at a 3 on it.
Don't not go see it, but
Definitely go see it. I think everybody should see it.
If
I
movie
just-
tickets are more than $12, don't go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay a premium
Put it-
price.
You know what? Maybe even don't see it in the theater.
If
Maybe
you,
wait to
if you
see it
waited
by
until
yourself.
You got home.
Wait till you get home. You can be in the privacy. It's a lot more intimate. You can get a lot more into it. You know what I mean? There's certain movies that are just better at home. Like, there are a lot, actually. Like, the ones that you want to see in theaters are Avengers. You know what I mean?
I'm glad I was in a theater for it, though.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Some of those big shots of Gotham were cool to see.
Yeah.
So, But so I think this movie I might like better when I see it
It's
at home.
It's a real dark movie, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the comfort of being in a crowded room with a whole bunch of other strangers keeps you a little bit out of the darkness.
Yeah, maybe. Fair point. All right. Well, all right, yeah. We'll wrap this one up. All right. Thank you guys very much for being on. This was amazing. I appreciate it. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Anytime, as always. I'm sure I'll want you back soon because there's some UFO news that we got to talk about. But yeah, that's going to be it from us from the Crypt tonight. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and iTunes. And yeah, that's going to be it. We'll be back again very soon. Thank you for listening. I love you all to death. Raise your horns, bang your heads. Good night.